Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Aaron Yoon coming at you from New York City once again. Welcome to another episode of my trading vlog. You'll notice that today I do not have my camera set up. There's some technical difficulties there, but I did want to come on live and I didn't want to let that stop me. So let's just dive right into the trades that we took today. As I said earlier in the week, to start off the week on Monday, I say we. You're welcome to take these trades with me as you'd like, but I'm definitely focusing more on the quarters and not so much the opening breakouts. Although today we did have crude oil news. It is Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Crude oil inventories get released on a weekly basis at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So I did take the breakout there, got a little bit of a win, but I also took some losses as well. My wins so far this week have come from quarters trades. They have not come from everything else that I've been doing, even though I'm always open to trading ideas and learning from way better traders, way more veteran traders than I am. I still consider myself a beginner, been at this less than a year, so I do take trading ideas from people who are way more knowledgeable. But so far for me, maybe it's a unconscious bias or something, but I've been way more profitable on my own ideas than taking some of my mentors' ideas and stuff. It's been kind of a wash. Their ideas have been kind of a wash this week, and my profits have mostly come from the quarters applying the quarters trading theory. So let's take a look at what that looks like for today. Right away, over on the overnight, I set up a trade. This is the S&P 500, the ES micro contract. I set up a trade. I don't trade on the lower time frames really, but let's put it up there so it's easy for you to recognize what's happening. So overnight on the S&P, I had an order pending. You can see that yesterday this is the market close right here. This is the 4:55 candle, 5-minute candle, and this is the open of the overnight, right? Or the Globex hours, however you want to call it. There's this giant gap up, and whenever this giant gap up, even though I'm a quarters trader, I am not going to ignore something as giant of a gap as this. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to respect it, and I'm going to I right away put a buy order to go long at the 3200. It took a while. It was kind of meandering about and just kind of dancing between in the middle here, and then it dropped around 3 a.m. Now, this is why I put limit orders, because I'm not here available at 3 a.m. to take a market order. So I'm in, and my stop would be 20 or on what is this micro S&P. So my stop is typically 10 to 12 points below, which is something like this, right? So I'm actually allowing for a huge chunk of the gap. Normally, a lot of people take the full gap as the zone, but this is so huge that it was just beyond what I personally am comfortable with as a level of risk. Now, I did take 2 contracts here, and in order to take profit here for one, and essentially let the other one ride. That was the idea. It didn't actually work out that way. Spoiler alert! It didn't. It didn't actually pan out. But that was the original intention for 2 contracts. Okay, so I'm in. It chops around, and at 6 a.m. it starts to pick up momentum. At 8 a.m. is when the day trading day trading margin starts to kick in. So more traders kick in at 8 a.m. and that's when it starts to come back down. Right? Let's see. I've actually completed this quarter before I even wake up. Yeah, around 7 a.m. is around when I was trying to wake myself up and start my day. And when I checked my phone, I saw that I had already completed a quarter. I was like, sweet, that's awesome. So I'm gonna. That was a pleasant surprise, and I wanted to. I had planned to take profit right here at the 225 and let for one of the contracts and let one of them ride. But that's so I was watching it, but that's not really what ended up happening. Or actually, I actually put a entry order for a third contract to take this all the way up to 32.75. This 100 pip move. Now, or this 50 point move, not pip. This 50 point move. But it didn't actually work out because the opening, first of all, this bearish candle is what actually got me in, and moving forward, the opening breakout did not look very good, right? It looked like it, and you can see here there's divergence. There's like a lot of indicators telling me that this isn't really gonna go the way that I want it to. So I just cut all three contracts, one for break even, and two for profit, for around a $250 win, right? That's what these three arrows are right here. And you can see, as the rest of the day unfolds, it was, I maybe could have taken the short given this type of signaling, but I wasn't as confident with that. In retrospect, it would have worked, but that's not what I was looking for. Let's see now. At this point, I did check in and say, okay, well, you're crossing the 3,200, but it's so bearish, especially on the larger time frames. Here, you dipped below. See, if you look at the RSI dipped below 40. So I'm very cautious. I'm not really sure I want to buy anymore. Although it turned out I was wrong, and I could have taken I could have taken a shot after seeing this close above. If I'm only basing this on candles, I could have taken a shot here and placed an order long to complete another quarter. I could have. But I didn't. I've been in virtual meetings all day, so I've not been able to, since 11 a.m., I have not been able to pay attention to the trading too much. So I didn't want to risk something that and if I leave a trade and I'm entered, I'm going to be thinking about it. It would do a disservice to everyone that I'm in a virtual meeting with if I'm distracted and I'm checking and all that stuff. So I chose not to actually take this order because I wasn't that confident about it anyway, right? It's kind of a mini trend reversal, right? Technically, you're just within a range, so it's you can package it however you like. I wasn't looking for the long here, especially after seeing this. I wasn't looking for a long. Although you can argue that the gap is going to be heavy support, which it ended up being, but I just didn't. It wasn't me. But it would have been if you were around and you were paying attention. You saw this hourly, or this is a 30-minute. You saw this 30-minute close. If you look and check on the hourly close would not have been enough, but yeah, you could easily make an argument to place a long order here because of the gap and because the RSI on the hourly did not break below 40. You just had a lower high, and that's not enough to confirm a reversal. So even if you placed it, though, you would have not made it on the hourly, which is why for me it was not a big deal. I wouldn't have gotten filled on this anyway. So that's my big win for the day. Two contracts on the S&P, a third for break even, and I'm glad. I'm really happy with how I managed that trade. I was looking for this big move above, and theoretically, if I had just held on, because my entry was down here, I would have been concerned, but I definitely would not have been stopped out, right? Assuming a 10-point stop, which was a little bit less than what I actually had. I would not have been stopped out. I would just be pretty much not break even. I would just be pretty much flat for the day. considering I was already in this level of profit on the overnight. So that's the big trade, big win for the day. I also had a minor win on the British pound because of I don't know if there's any forex traders here, but I did. My background actually comes from forex first, before I started trading futures. So I do have an affinity for the currencies. I do love how they move, and I love what they represent. It's the most liquid market in the world. So last night we saw, I'm really kicking myself for missing the 2500 here. It just worked perfectly. If you had a order just waiting for it, I would gladly have done that, except it was tying up my margin for so long that I took that order down and I replaced it with other trades. And I am just kicking myself. I really want to start getting better at setting up alerts and stuff and stop being lazy about it. But I'm kicking myself for missing this yesterday at 9 a.m. I was in front of my computer anyway, and like I just missed it. It's just my own fault for missing it. But anyway, I took it off because I missed it last night or yesterday in the morning. I took it last night off the green, which isn't as good quality because we gave up 75 pips. We said or ticks. We gave up 3/4 already, and that kind of sucks. But whatever. This is still as good of a line as any at that point to enter a trade. So I actually had 2 entries here. One contract for a 1-to-1, and the reason I do that is that no matter what happens with this trade, it is a break-even trade technically on this security. The pound dollar futures contract for September. Even if I get stopped out here, I've already booked profit for this exact same amount for a small quarter. So that means that I am already, I think I must have done a market order, because this is actually a 2 ticks below the actual perfect round number. So I must have seen it and been like, you know what, I have the momentum in my favor. I think it's going to continue to go up, given the evidence that I'm looking at. Given the strong bounce off a big quarter number right here, the 2500, all the way up to I saw it break above. I saw these candles. I was able to see that it broke above the 75. So you know what? And it was hovering around the 73. So I took it, and then I took profit, and it was heading towards my target, but then it retraced. And this is something that I'm okay mentally leaving alone, even though I gave away a ton of profit here. I gave away, looks like I gave away at least 50 points worth of profit. I'm okay, because no matter what happens, worst case scenario, I am going to break even. This is what mentally prepares me for longer term holds. And for me, this is the way that I want to swing trade, by order stacking, booking in profits, guaranteeing a free trade, and taking it up. So those were my big wins. I had some small losses, but not really a big deal. Those are trades that are not really relevant to this conversation because they're not quarters trades. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of my trading vlog on YouTube. Thanks, everybody.